Hello connectors, I just wanted to kind of make an updated video on how I make my 2-ingredient dough. Let's get to it. I do want to mention that when I make my biscuits or bagels or whatever it is that I'm making, I like to do about a dozen at a time now. And what I do is I'll make a dozen, and when they cool off, I throw them in a Ziploc bag and refrigerate them. We can eat on them for a whole week and they are just as good as day one. So if you're gonna make some and you know you're gonna eat them throughout the week, you can make them all at once. All right, let's get started with what ingredients I use. I know there's like several brands of yogurt out there, but I 100% prefer, and to me it's the best one. It works the best with the dough. For me personally, I like the way it tastes better. Costco is the one that carries Kirkland, and it's the organic Greek yogurt, plain, non-fat. Then I go with the Gold Medal brand, self-rising flour. You wanna make sure it's self-rising. I also like to add dried jalapeños into the bread, so it makes it a little spicy, but it's good. And then I also will add light mozzarella cheese on top. And I also brush the tops, before I add the cheese, I do brush the tops of my bread with minced garlic. So those are the ingredients that I use to make mine out of all the breads that I've made. And I even do my pizza dough like this. So this is literally our go-to bread. Let's get started. You're gonna need 1 cup of each, yogurt and flour. And 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of yogurt can make you 4 biscuits, 4 bagels, 4 whatever you're gonna make, but they're gonna be 3 points each with the 1-to-1 cup ratio. So what I do, because I wanna make 12, I'm gonna do 3 cups. And I've already measured out 2 cups of yogurt in here, and here's my 3rd cup. So I'm gonna have a total of 3 cups of yogurt. And again, if you don't want to make 12 at once, just do 1 cup of each. You can make 4. And I'm going to add, I have 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to add the 3rd cup. So now I have 3 cups of each in this bowl. I always work with just a spoon. And what I like to do is I just press with the back of the spoon and turn the bowl. And I just keep doing this until it forms into a dough. So I'll kind of show you guys as we go how it comes together. And you see I kind of like switch the rotation of the bowl. So I just do whatever I can. And then when it gets all clumpy and stuck to my spoon like this, I use the little spatula that I started out with to scrape the yogurt, and I just scrape it off the spoon, throw it back in the bowl, and I keep working. And I just keep working, keep rotating that bowl. And you're gonna notice like a bunch of it will start to clump up in the middle, and you're gonna have tons of loose flour still around the edges. So then I will start to kind of stir some of that flour up and into the dough that's clumped up. And again, start pressing. So you just wanna keep working that in there. And basically you're just gonna continue doing this until it becomes one solid ball of dough. So I've gotten it to a point where it's pretty solid. I'm still gonna be mixing a little longer because I'm going to now add my dried jalapenos. A lot of people that have seen me use this ask where I get it. I literally I order everything off Amazon. So anyway, it's just dried jalapeno. And I'm actually gonna just add the rest of that. Now I'm gonna continue to mix this in. And when I start to knead it, it'll help mix the jalapeno around as well. Okay, now that I've mixed my dough, as far as I want to take it with the spoon and the bowl, I have some flour set to the side. And no, I do not count points for extra flour because it's going to get spread evenly into all these little pieces. And I never really use all my weekly points, like where I'm completely like in the negative. I mean, I have one time, but for the most part, I don't. And so I don't really count for like certain spices or like the extra little bit of flour and things like that. But you're more than welcome to say measure out an extra half a cup or whatever it is that you're gonna use and add that into your recipe builder to create your point value. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just dump my dough out here. And very important tip, keep a lot of flour on your hands. You want them super floured. This dough gets super sticky if you do not. And now I'm just gonna keep kneading this, and that's gonna also help mix up the jalapeno peppers that I put in here. So I'm gonna just keep working on this just for a couple minutes. You don't have to be too extreme with it. See, now my hands are starting to get a little sticky. So I'm gonna just add more flour. And then, honestly, I don't really do too much. I mean, I get it to about there, okay? Now, the next step is very important to me. You know, I've seen a lot of people make the dough and they just eyeball it and cut it into their pieces. I like to be a little more specific with my measurements, and this is with everything, not just dough. Anyway, I use a scale every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't use a scale. So I'm gonna turn this on, and then I just get an extra bowl here. I just leave it in grams because we're just gonna basically wanna divide this big ball into 12 because I'm making a dozen. Okay, so my scale is at 0. I'm gonna go ahead and weigh this big ball of dough. It's 1,255 grams. So I'm gonna, Alexa. Okay, so Alexa says it's 104.6. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making little sections here, and I'm gonna measure out everything at 104 grams to start out with. So again, I'm gonna flour my hands because as you're breaking the dough off, the inside of it will be sticky. So I'm gonna drop that on the scale. I don't know if you guys can see that. This weighs 122, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a pinch of that off. I'm at 105. Some of my balls at the end will actually be 105, so I'm gonna leave that one. So this is 105, put it to the side. Start again. I'm gonna grab another section here. That's 115, so I'm gonna take some of that off. Again, 105. I'll just take it because I know some of them are gonna be 105, some are gonna be 104. You just wanna get as close as you can so that your sections are all equal. You don't have like one biscuit that's technically 5 points and one that's like 2 points, or you know, you get my drift. So you can see I have everything pretty equal. So now at this point, what you're gonna do is grab your pan. So I actually prefer to use, like, this is my pizza pan with the holes. So I prefer pans with the holes because it crisps the dough on the bottom, and it works really well. So I always recommend this. What I literally take the ball that I sectioned out and I throw it on the table just like that, pick it up and throw it on the pan. So I throw it down, throw it on the pan. And then what I also do is I take, you know, I'll throw it down like that, but I'll like flatten it out a little with my hands so that it looks kind of like a little hamburger patty, about that thick. And I make it just into like a little hamburger patty shape. And these ones come out a little flatter and a little bigger. And these are the ones that we kind of cut in half when we'll use for sandwiches. I like to make a few of each so we have options. You know, us freestylers like to have options. And if your hands get sticky, just add a little flour. See, I didn't use a whole lot of flour. I mean, I filled this up because I like to have it here, but I didn't use a whole lot, so I don't count it. Let's see, I'm gonna make 4 of each. So I'm gonna use 4 of the drop biscuits and then 4 of the more flatter ones that I use for bread, like sandwiches, I mean. So let me go ahead and squish this one out. So this is how many I can fit on the one tray. I have another tray and I'll finish those up off camera. But at this point, what I do is I get my minced garlic and I just little brush, and I use the juice, and you can use some of the garlic too. I put some of that on there as well. But basically, I just coat the tops of each one with garlic and the juice. Get the juice on first, it's a little easier. So you can see I'm just coating the biscuits with the minced garlic flavoring. And then I just add a few of the little, I'm actually gonna just do that by hand, you guys. So now, I washed my hands really quick, but now I'm gonna go ahead and add my light mozzarella on top. I have figured out with this recipe, with 3 cups of flour and 3 cups of yogurt, you get the 12 portions at 3 points a piece. The minced garlic and the jalapeno is 0. We know cheese has points, but you can use 3 ounces of cheese equally split into all 12, and it will not add points to your bread. So each biscuit or bread will still be 3 points. So once again, I use my scale, and I'm gonna measure out 3 ounces. Let me put that on ounces. 3 ounces of cheese. And a lot of times I don't even use a full 3 ounces. So anything 3 ounces or less, whatever you add, sprinkle on each one, it's not gonna add points. So I use the scale as I'm taking the cheese to measure out each wire. The ones that are a little more drop biscuit style, I don't ever put as much cheese on those, only because it falls off. So I kind of actually just kind of like, as I'm putting it on, I kind of just push it into the bread. So these ones are ready to go in. I did have the oven already preheating at 400 degrees. And what I do is I put them in for 15 minutes and I check them at 15 minutes. And what ends up usually happening is I end up putting them in for an additional 5. So it usually takes my oven 20 minutes. But when I tell other people, I always recommend 15 to 20 minutes because everyone's oven is different and my 400 degrees might be different than your 400 degrees. So set your timer for 15 minutes at 400 and start with that. And you'll be able to tell when they're done because you'll see they're nice and brown. So we'll be back in 15 minutes to check on these and then when they're finished. Hey guys, I just wanted to tune back in really quick to let you know that I'm gonna try something new tonight. So what I did is I took my last 4 portions and I combined 2 together and then the other 2 together. So each one of these, instead of being a 3-point bread, will now be 6 points worth of bread. And I also wanted to show you kind of like, see how the jalapeno is nice and mixed in there. So I'm gonna make 2 of these so we can do big grilled cheese sandwiches. So it'll be 6 points and I'll end up using the light mozzarella. And then I'm thinking of adding some tomato soup with that. So the timer just went off for 15 minutes and as you guys can see, the bread is still not brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and add an additional 5 minutes. The extra 5 minutes, the timer went off. So I did a total of 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Here's my 4 that I made that are gonna be used for sandwiches later, like a grilled cheese, something quick and simple. There's the drop biscuits, the ones I literally just threw on their thing and kept it the way it was. And once they're completely cool, whatever you don't plan on eating at that moment, just throw it in a Ziploc bag and throw it in the refrigerator. Like I said, you can throw one of these in the microwave in a tortilla warmer. So like I have this one here, it's pretty old, but it's just a tortilla warmer, and I wrap it in a paper towel, throw it in here, and microwave it for 30 seconds. And it comes out soft and just really good, just like it was baked fresh out of the oven. So this is my go-to recipe, jalapeno, garlic and cheese, and that is like, once you try it, you'll probably never go back to anything else. No, I don't know. I love garlic, I love jalapeno, and I love cheese. So if you like those ingredients, this 2-ingredient dough is no longer 2 ingredients, my way, but the base of it is still 2 ingredients. All right, so I hope this is helpful for you guys. I've been wanting to make a new updated video because I really don't do the bagels anymore. I don't take the time to, I mean, it has a hole in the middle and who needs all that? Just drop the biscuit and eat it.